So, we all spend a huge amount of time on social media these days, just scrolling through, sometimes wasting our time and filling our brain with unnecessary information. We've all been there. And most of us are trying to cut down our time on social media, but somehow we always end up catching ourselves doing the same thing once again subconsciously. It is addictive, but there is a solution to this. I want to suggest that you check out my favorite Instagram accounts to learn and improve your English. Those are the ones that I actually follow and like. So if you are to spend your time on social media, then make sure it is benefiting you at least. Or if you're looking for some useful content outside of YouTube that is short and concise, and you happen to love Instagram, then this information is definitely for you. Now, with no further ado, let's jump right into it. I'm going to list them, but this doesn't mean that the first one is better than the last one. They're all equally great. So the first account I'd like to recommend is Professor Korten's account. On his page, you'll find lots of useful posts and stories. Plus, every Wednesday, he holds lives on Instagram where he explains different grammar points or some things about pronunciation or talks about learning English in general and where you can ask him questions. Also, he has a YouTube channel where he has lots of videos on academic writing and grammar. I think his account will be especially useful for those who are getting ready for IELTS. Another account that I love and follow is Kayla's profile. I did an interview with her. You can watch it by clicking over here if you want to. She's a language coach. Her stories are always so motivational, inspirational, and really relatable. She's an American, but she has learned Spanish and she has gone through all the difficulties that we are going through when we're learning English, like self-expression and feeling authentic, more comfortable and confident in our target language. She helps people understand what they need to finally become fluent on her Instagram as well as in her course, because she also has a course. Kayla shares a ton of information and tips based on her own experience as well as the experiences of her clients. And especially, I want you to listen to this. Kayla posted these stories like a week ago, so she was talking about the struggles of using English in a natural and free way. In particular, about our fear of being judged if we speak English or post something in English, and about being sensitive to the things that might happen if we post in English, like getting feedback that we think might come from people seeing the holes in our English, or the weaknesses that we have as communicators. And her next words are a really important thing to remember, and I want everyone to hear this.
So, something that I want to remind you all is to be very, very careful of who you choose to take feedback from, because feedback is not something to be taken from anyone or everyone, and it's not to be accepted all the time. So something that I have learned as an entrepreneur in my past year and a half of business is that I will only accept feedback from someone on two conditions. So the first one is that they have achieved success or have reached a goal that I have for myself. So I see that they've already had success in whatever it is that I want to achieve. And my second requirement is that they are a person that I respect and look up to.
The next profile is Simple American Accent, which is led by Will. Right there on his page, it says, I help English-speaking Brazilians speak with an American accent, but don't be too quick to think that this profile is not for you if you're not a Brazilian. If you want to improve your American pronunciation, I'm sure you'll love this account. Yes, there are times when Will speaks Portuguese, however, his content is in stories format and you barely even notice that.
Comfortable. I usually say comfortable. You could say comfortable or some other variation, but yeah, if you want to say it like I most often do, try it like this. Comfortable.
And this is what I love the most. He posts these very cool and concise stories and posts on how to pronounce words, and they are very easy to follow and understand.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
In addition, he offers a course for Brazilians where they can work on their American accent. The next one will be a Linguatrip account. A lot of you might know and already follow this account as it's Marina Mogilko's page. She's a YouTuber from Russia who lives in the US and she teaches English on her channels. I really love the stories they post, well, as well as their posts. They are interesting and informative, plus they do quizzes on their stories so that you can check your listening skills and understanding of English, as well as your knowledge of English in general.
Move them if you don't knock them out. Move them if you don't knock them out.
Knowledgeable sports fan and a wagering enthusiast.
I can't believe you got us into trouble.
It's a very useful way to spend 5 minutes of your day. Another one is Simmons' account. He is an accent and fluency coach. He posts a huge amount of very useful content like tips, advice, as well as some specific things like explanations of idioms, etc. And I love that he has his own way of explaining and presenting things, which is unique and interesting. You should definitely check his profile out.
Is anxiety really getting in the way of your English? You're about to find out, so keep watching. The moment anxiety kicked in, your skills were compromised. But don't worry because this doesn't last forever. It's just until anxiety levels come back down and you're able to think like a human being instead of like a monkey.
Also, he has recently started his YouTube channel, and by the way, all the links are going to be down below in the description. Now, if you happen to be a medical student or are already a doctor, or you happen to like to watch medical TV shows or videos about medicine as I do, and you need medical English, then I have a suggestion for you. The account called Medical English Melissa. She's a nurse practitioner and a midwife, and she practiced medicine up until recently. Then she started teaching medical English. So, as you might have guessed, you'll find a lot of useful information about medical English on her profile, such as medical vocabulary and pronunciation, as well as some very useful tips as she mentors people and helps them prepare for job and college interviews. Here's some examples from her account, and she also has a YouTube channel.
C, characteristics. There are a lot of different ways to describe a headache. I will get into some of them. You can ask a patient, is it more of a sharp shooting pain or is it a dull aching pain? Sharp shooting is just a collocation. We always seem to use those words together. Sharp shooting pain.
To my fellow Ukrainians, I want to recommend a very cool and I'd say unique account called English for Ukraine, where a teacher, Lini, she's an American, teaches English. And I know you probably want to ask, what's so unique about that? Just another account that teaches you English. Wrong. Not just some other account. Lini has actually learned Ukrainian and lived in Ukraine, in Lviv, for some time.
Всім привіт! Мене звати Ліні, я американка і я живу у Львові. Я вже 3 роки живу в Україні. І спочатку, коли я приїхала, я не знала жодного українського слова. Не добрий день, не до побачення, нічого. Але вже через 3 роки я трохи говорю, але я знаю, що в мене смішний акцент.
Now she's back in the US, and I don't know when she's coming back to Ukraine, but she's very familiar with our people, our culture, and our struggles when it comes to English.
Do you use the idioms, I'm having a whale of a time, or let's paint the town red? До приїзду в Україну я ніколи не чула ці ідіоми. I don't know if they're British, but we just don't use them in America, which is why I made this course, the things textbooks never taught you.
So definitely check out her account. Again, there's lots of useful information. Also, don't forget to check their saved stories because, as you know, or maybe you don't know, but stories are only available for 24 hours after posting, and after that, they disappear. Okay, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and it was useful. If that was the case, give us a like.